Hello folks, this is Sula speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. Well, we have another set 10 game here. And in this game, we're going to be looking at a Crab Rave game. Yes, this game is going to be all about dominating the Crab Rave. There it is. Got Scuttle Buddies start the Crab Rave. That's a little bit of a silly title here, but I needed to put something a little bit different for the video title. After you've done so many, you want to have a little bit of stuff to change up the formula. In actuality, this is going to be a game where things just line up really, really well. There are some games where you're kind of desperately trying to flail around and make things work, and other games where things kind of get handed to you almost on a silver platter, and this is more of the latter game. So it is going to be a game about dominating the Crab Rave, but it's not really something that's repeatable game after game after game, because this is a game where the situation just lined up really, really nicely for me to play the spot I was in. Okay, that starts out with this, Heartsteel Cassante on the very first headliner. Anytime you see that, you should pretty much take it. That is one of the strongest possible headliners to get early in the game. Cassante makes for a good headliner in general. My general feeling is that in the early game, you do better with the tank headliners, just because 2-star frontline is really strong in the early game. And then in the late game, it's usually better to have 2-star carries, if possible. That's not a hard and fast rule, but generally speaking, that seems to work out reasonably well. By the way, yes, this is a Crab Rave, so that means we're going to be getting disgusting amounts of gold and loot. Get used to seeing that here from the various minion rounds. So what do I want to pair with that? Well, I definitely want to find another Heartsteel champ, but look at this. I'm going to get the pieces for a 2-star Corki, and then I'm also going to get a Garen that drops here. I have been able to run this in a number of games, and it always feels really strong if you can put this together. Anytime you've got that Cassante for the opener. So Cassante Heartsteel headliner gets me 2 out of 3 Heartsteel trait, then I need to find another Heartsteel champ. Hopefully a Felios or Set or somebody like that. And then I get the Garen to give me Sentinel trait, and then I get the Corki that gives me a carry to play through, and also puts 8-bit trait. Now I just need to get a big shot trait to pair with the Corki. Ideally that would be Misfortune, but more likely I'll try to find Kaisa. Now, in a normal game, I might take the branching out, gain a random emblem. I often would take that, but my start is so strong here. I was like, I don't want to gamble on like getting an emblem that does nothing for me. I'm going to take the Spoils of War here. Now, this is a silver augment, but that's actually a good thing. The fact that I have such a strong opener and the fact that I'm going to get a silver augment is actually quite good, because it means the overall power level of this lobby is going to be lower. And that means people are less likely to cap out with just like completely insane, crazy stuff. So if I play this right, I'm going to be able to scale up on Heartsteel, getting the additional income from the Heartsteel cash outs. And I'll also be scaling up on Spoils of War drops as well. Again, you don't typically want to take Spoils of War unless you think you can win streak with your board, but I do think I'm in a position to win streak here. I have a very strong opener. The Cassante headliner to anchor the front line, and then a 2-star Corki to provide damage. I have 8-bit trait, big shot trait, sentinel trait in. This is just a strong board. It's going to be able to beat most of the other boards. And then I just have to hope that I'm going to be able to get some loot drops here from my Spoils of War. And then I will be double printing income. I also was considering whether or not I'd have to sell that extra Cassante, but fortunately I didn't. I was able to hit the 10 income breakpoint on the last minion round, and then also hit it again on that round, even though I leveled to level 4. There are some people who, of course, just like sold all their units so they could get to 20 gold on the Crab Rave rounds. That does work fine, but you use that if you're going to go for a loss streaking strategy, and I really don't think that I have to do that here. I always think that it's better to win streak through the early game if you can manage it. Obviously, there are plenty of games where you can't manage that, but you would always want to, or almost always want to win streak if you could. Playing from behind is just tough in general. By the way, that one board has already gone to level 5, so I'm kind of hoping I will not hit that board, just because I think I beat most of these boards. I'm not sure if I beat that person who's already gone to level 5. That said, that person did cost themselves an awful lot of economy in the process. I think they dropped down to 0 gold by going to level 5 on 2-2, so they will have to win streak for their econ. Here I'm not quite able to get to 20 gold. If I'd been able to get one more gold coin to drop from Spoils of War, then I could have sold the Cassante, but I'm just a little bit short. Still, being level 4, 17 gold in the bank at this point is still a pretty good situation to be in. And now I'm back up over the 20 gold threshold here. I will pick up 1 or 2 champs here as long as it doesn't cost income. I want my next champ in to be a Heartsteel champ. The most likely one is Aphelios, so I'll pick up the Jinx. Maybe I see 2 Jinxes in the next shop, and then I'm switching over to play like Jinx 2-star, Aphelios 1-star, and take out the Kaisa on level up. As long as it doesn't cost income to do so, it's not the worst thing to have happen. I'm looking around at the different teams here. By the way, there's 2 other players who also haven't lost a round yet, which is kind of interesting. And I'm actually listed in the 3rd position spot, so if we all win this round, I will actually be 3rd pick on the carousel, which is going to be kind of wild. I would certainly not be unhappy with that. Anyway, this board is basically a joke. This person's not really playing anything, but they have hit the 30 gold threshold. Still, I'm not that far behind them. I'm level 425 gold, basically. They're level 430 something gold. So, like, they're a little bit ahead economically, but, like, I'm also on full win streak. And that person's already lost 15 health, so I would definitely prefer my position to theirs. Okay, so interesting stuff on this carousel. I am 3rd pick, even though I haven't lost a round yet. So thanks to those other 2 players for winning out, and then me also getting the tiebreaker at 1 in 3 odds to have 3rd pick here. There's a set on this carousel with a belt. I was like, yes, please. I will take that set. I was expecting it to get taken. It was not taken. So I am happy to take that. None of the other items that were on there on the carousel were stuff I wanted anyway. Like, I don't want rods or tears at this point. They're not going to be helpful. And a cloak isn't really going to do that much for me either. So yeah, I'm quite content to make this. It's like half of a Wormogs or something like that. And then I get another set in the store anyway. So it's like, okay, well, that's fine. Looks like set would have come back anyway. But I do not regret taking that off carousel. That's going to put Heartsteel trait in play. I can start stacking up those Heartsteel stacks. And it is not bad for me to have the... what is it? It's not bad for me to go ahead and level there, even though it does drop me below 30 gold. I'm still level 5, 20 gold, which is not a bad place to be economically. I'm still hoping that I can win streak. I think that I beat just about all of these boards. I'm not sure if I beat... This is the board that I'm most concerned about, because this is the board that went to level 5 early. So you can see the cost of them going to level 5 early. They're only down at 10 gold. So they really do need to win streak here. It's actually super important that they're able to maintain a win streak, but they just don't really have a carry. They have a 1-star Kaisa in the back. So even though their front line is very tanky, yeah, they don't have a carry. So it looks like I'm going to win. And that's actually disastrous for their game, because again, they leveled early, and I'm actually going to sell the whole bench so I can get up to 30 gold. So there we go. I was able to win streak over them, and I was able to maintain full win streak and have great econ as well. So now I just have to hope I win this last round here so I can go full win streak. If I can win this one, I get to 40 gold. If I don't win this one, I will sell the Cassante. I was holding the Cassante so that I could have a replacement unit in the event that I needed to sell my headliner. I'd have a replacement Cassante. I was looking at this board and I was like, wait a minute, this one person has taken the raise the stakes option with their Heartsteel board. That's a little bit surprising. I'm actually up against them. But if the goal was to take raise the stakes, they shouldn't have made a 2-star Mordekaiser. 2-star Mordekaiser is really strong this early in the game. So I'm a little bit surprised that they took that. This person's actually playing a similar board to me. They also have a Cassante Heartsteel headliner. They also have taken Spoils of War. We have the exact same initial augment. But yeah, they opted to go for raise the stakes, which is a little bit surprising to me there. And it looks like they're actually going to win this round. So that's not the worst thing for me. I would have preferred to win that round, but that instantly loses them their raise the stakes gold. So that's not going to happen. And yeah, I lose the round, but I do get a little bit of extra Heartsteel stacks. It was a perfect loss. There's only 1 unit alive. So even though I'm like slightly disappointed to lose that round, it did mean that they weren't able to go on a big heart streak, loss streak. So they kind of messed that up. They shouldn't have put the Mordekaiser in, or if they wanted the 2-star Mordekaiser, they should have just item removed their tank items off, because if that Mordekaiser had not had any items, then they would have lost that round, which is surely what they wanted, because they had taken raise the stakes. But anyway, I was able to get an Aphelios here, so that's really nice. I'm also able to grab a Misfortune, and I will just play that over the Kaisa, because Misfortune is a much better unit and scales better with the board I'm planning on playing. Unfortunately, the items I get here are not what I want. I get a rod and a vest. I really don't want these items. I now have double rods. Normally, I could take the vest. And by the way, oh, I get double Yones here as well. So I was like, ooh, okay. Because I have the Aphelios, that means I can actually play 5 Heartsteel. So we'll go ahead and do that. This does make my board weaker because I'm dropping Big Shot trait, but it's clearly worth it to get 5 Heartsteel in this early. Again, the only real issue is my items. I really wanted a bow so I can make Rage Blade. I really have very little use for rods in a Heartsteel team composition. It's an all physical damage team, so there's not much we can do with rods. I was hoping for, as I said, a bow, but that was not an option there. And then I got another vest. I've already made a Sunfire cape. I don't need double Sunfire capes. So I just decided to make the Crown Guard because I wanted to try to keep winning with my board. I think this was the best thing that I could do with the items I had available. I don't really want the double rods to like sit on my bench doing nothing. That doesn't feel very useful for me. And I don't want an extra vest just doing nothing. I decided I'd just make the Crown Guard. I think it's fine. It's not the best item, but it's not bad. Now this round has a 3-star Jinx already, so I'm going to lose this round. But I did get the 5 Heartsteel in, so it's going to yield me quite a few stacks of Heartsteel. I think it gave me like 30-ish stacks of Heartsteel traits, something like that, and it wasn't a bad loss either. Okay, so on this option I'm looking here, it's another silver augment. There's not much I really want here. I'll just take the late game specialist. So like we're playing full scaling build here. When you get to level 9, gain 33 gold. So again, I think my situation's quite good here. My board is still pretty strong overall. It has fallen off a little bit in terms of board strength, but I just hit the 2-star set. That's really good. I still have the 2-star Corki. Obviously, Corki is not quite what he was on stage 3 as he was on stage 2, but I'm still in good shape here. I'm getting Spoils of War value every time I kill things, and I have a very early 5 Heartsteel in. So if I win the rounds, I'm going to kill the units, I'll get Heartsteel stacks, and I'll get Spoils of War drops. If I lose the round, I'll get even more Heartsteel stacks. So there's really no way I can lose here. Either way, it's going to be good. By the way, that other person who I was just looking at has just a bunch of capital letters in their name, they look like they're going to go for reroll Riven and play like an edgelord reroll team composition. That's going to be strong in the mid game, but it's not going to scale great into the late game. So I think I can outpace that one. There's also a bunch of people that are playing Punk. I think there's 2 people playing Punk in the lobby. So again, all those boards, I'm reasonably confident I can outscale those boards with my setup, which is just going to scale insanely well into the late game. I just have to get there. I have to avoid losing too much health. So I am totally fine with winning rounds. Like, I would prefer still to win rounds over losing them, because if I can just make it to the late game, I'm going to be really, really, really strong. I just have to not run out of health before that happens. So again, I'm going to take my cash out, and this one's going to give me a Thief Glove. That is not bad at all. Now, it might have been better just to get like that cash out was supposed to have like I think it was 11 gold worth of value. It might have been better just to get like 11 gold there so I could accelerate my econ, but I do not mind getting the Thief's Glove at all. A Thief's Glove is essentially equal to another silver augment in terms of value. There is a silver augment that just gives you a Thief's Glove, so I basically got like another silver augment essentially for free there, just doing my first Heartsteel cash out. So that's going to be quite helpful. I'm just going to stuff it on Set. He's the obvious unit to put it on because I have no other 2-star units. And he actually rolled a frontline item here in the Spirit Massage for at least 1 round. So that's not going to be bad. Now, this round is the other person who's playing Punk. They have a 3-star Jinx with Rage Blade, Infinity Edge. I'm not beating that. Just hoping to kill as many units as I can. If I can kill the front line, I'll be reasonably pleased. Okay, again, that's not bad, but look at that board. They're level 5, 0 gold. Like, they're literally level 5, 0 gold. They're going to be really strong now, but, like, that board is going to get outscaled in the worst possible way. So I would just say thank you very much. You just gave me 38 Heartsteel stacks. I will take that. I will trade the, what I lose, about 7 or 8 health. I will take the 8 health I lose in exchange for 38 Heartsteel stacks, and that is not bad. All right, that also drops me into 3rd pick on this carousel, and there's another Ezreal on this carousel. It's like, no, come on, there's no way I get the Ezreal, right? But, nope, it's still there. I did think about taking the Blitzcrank with the belt, but I mean, realistically, I have to take the Ezreal. It's just too good of a unit. Now, that leaves me with yet another vest. I'm like overflowing with vests in this game. I think I've gotten a couple off carousel, but again, this is just fantastic. Now I've got an Ezreal, so we'll just move out of the Corki and play the Ezreal instead. And now I don't need Garen because Garen was just on the board to give me 8-bit trait. And I can also take the Yone off the board and still run 5 Heartsteel. So I'm quite content with that. We'll move these items back over to Ezreal. Unfortunately, as his items are like not quite there yet, I really need some kind of attack speed and I need some kind of mana generation for the Ezreal. Otherwise, it's just not going to work out overall. So my board is definitely scaling. Again, I think I'm in good shape overall. The big thing is I have to avoid losing too much health because, again, I'm getting Heartsteel value, I'm getting Spoils of War value. Even in the rounds I'm losing, I am killing a decent number of units. So I'm just getting a little bit of extra gold here and there. And I've already hit one of my key units that I need in terms of Ezreal. Also, Spoils of War scales pretty well into the late game because later in the game, there's more units on the board for you to kill. So, all right, I am going to lose that round. And again, I'm losing some of these rounds, but none of them have been terrible losses. And I got another 30-something Heartsteel stacks from that. So it looks like I'm going to get a pretty nice cash out from my next Heartsteel cash out. And so we'll just continue leveling here. I'll just go ahead and level and put in the Bard. Now, is Jazz trait going to do a whole lot here? No, not really. Jazz 2 with 4 traits in is not worth a lot of value, but it's better than anything else I could put in. Well, maybe I should have just put in another Cassante, but I felt like I had enough frontline already. It was damage that I needed. I'm a little low on damage because all my damage dealers are 1 stars, and Ez's items are a little scuffed right now. The Infinity Edge is great. It lets his ult crit, and his ult hits super hard, but without any mana generation or attack speed, it just takes him too long to get that ult off. Still, I'm level 7, basically level 7, 50 gold here. I've already hit some of the key pieces for my comp, and as I said, I'm continuing to scale up on Spoils and Heartsteel, so I'm very content with how this is going. Anyway, this is the board that's re-rolling for Edgelords. They've got the Riven 2-star already, and it looks like they're getting close on the Riven, but they're not going to get anything more from their... look at that, I got another gold coin there. So it looks like, again, it's going to be a good loss. We killed everything except the Riven. Riven who just walked through and murdered my whole backline, unfortunately. But again, it's a good loss, and now we're going to get a really strong Heartsteel cash out. We're guaranteed to get the 130 stacks here, because if we win the next round, then we'll get 6 stacks, and if we lose the next round, we'll get like 30-some stacks. I have lost a fair amount of health. Now, I did lose 4 out of 5 rounds in Stage 3. I would have preferred to win some of those rounds, but economically, I'm just continuing to be in really, really good shape. So what we're going to do is, after the minion round, we're going to look to go to level 8. We'll sell the Cassante. We have a replacement Cassante to put right back in. And then we're going to try to find a headliner. Again, ideal would be an Ezreal headliner. If I could find a Heartsteel Ezreal headliner, I could actually play 7 Heartsteel, although that might be a bit excessive, to be honest. It looks like I got another Thief's Glove there, so okay. That's kind of interesting. And I did get the items for a Shojin, so I'll hit the MF 2-star. And I think I decided I was going to wait 1 round here. Oh, I saw the sword, and I went ahead and made the Shojin. And as soon as I did that, I was like, oh no, I should have done blue buff because, oh, I could have killed the 2 tiers. Yeah, the problem is I have too many tiers and rods. These are items I don't want. I will be able to reforge 1 of them. And we get a buff. Ah, that's good. Okay, I can use that for a Rage Blade. And then the Thief's Glove can go on, I guess, Misfortune. So we'll do that. And yeah, we're good for the time being. I just didn't have enough time to sell and replace my headliner. So I decided I would just wait 1 more round. And then I do the Cassante sell and replace after that. And of course, I'm also going to get a Heartsteel cash out on the next round and get my next augment on the next round too. Again, this is another one of those boards that hit the Jinx 3-star. Now, can I beat the Jinx 3-star this early in the game? It's going to be close. It looks like my front line did hold up well enough. And the difference of Ezreal having good items. Yeah, we are actually going to win that round. And that's nice. Although I would have gotten an even bigger Heartsteel cash out if I'd lost. So it might have been better to lose that round. Okay, last augment is gold. A lot of the time, if you go silver, the last augment is prismatic. I'm going to take Blazing Soul, just going to give me some additional attack speed. And then, oh, look at this, 1% Yorick. Okay, well, we'll play that. I just got another tier, and I got a Steadfast Heart from my Heartsteel drop. So now we're looking for a headliner. Again, we'd really like Ezreal if we can. Put the Yone on the board for the time being. And we'll put the Cassante back on the board. All right, well, there's a Jhin. Okay, that's a huge hit right now. Now, can I find something to go with it? There's a Thresh. I want to move eventually into Guardian frontline. I should pick up the Zac. Still haven't seen a headliner I want, though. It's like, oh, Big Shot MF. Okay, we can do this. It's not quite what I would have wanted, but it lets me play 4 Big Shot with the Jhin on the board. So that is, I think that's a pretty good take there. And now I definitely need to move my items around because I have some items in weird places. But now we've got a Jhin on the board. Unfortunately, we still just have 1-star Ezreal, so I do need to move some of these items. And now I can clear out. I can sell the Yone, because I know I'm not going to play Yone now. I've dropped down to 3 Heartsteel, and I think that that's good for the time being. I think long-term I'll move out of the Heartsteel completely and just look to play better units. But for right now, I'll continue to play these. And can we win this round? It's close. Come on, Ez, can you win this? Just need my front line. I need that Blitzcrank to tank a little bit longer. All right, there we go. Looks like that person got some chests from their spoils of war, but I was able to win the round. All right, so now I need to continue configuring my board. Aphelios is out. We need to make some of these items. I have double tiers, so I was like, all right, who takes the frontline items? I guess it's the Blitzcrank for right now, because I do have Sentinel trait in. And then I need to keep shifting these. I was like, all right, like I said, I'll put this on Blitz. I do have double tiers, so I should probably look to, and I'll make the Steadfast Heart. That came out of my last, whatchamacallit, came out of my last Heartsteel cash out. And now I've got this belt, and I have double tiers. I was like, oh, Ezreal can make blue buff. That's right, Ez is really good with blue buff. So I'll look to go ahead and do that. And for the time being, because I know I can shift this over to Ezreal, I'll put this on Jhin. It's not quite as good on Jhin, but it's not a bad item on Jhin either. His mana cost is pretty low, but it's a little bit better on Ezreal if I remember correctly. But yeah, we have 4 big shot in, and we have a lot of items that we're playing around with. So yeah, we're gonna win. We're gonna generate more spoils of war value. We don't get much Heartsteel value because I dropped down to 3 Heartsteel, but looking pretty good. My board is still mostly 1-star units. If I can just 2-star all these units, I think I'll be in pretty good shape. And I'm also on 6 Misfortunes too. Like, yeah, don't forget, I'm on 6 MFs. So I just need to find 3 more Misfortunes, and I can 3-star her. She seems pretty good with the Thief's Glove for right now. All right, now I am finally last pick on this carousel. I would happily take the Alawi if by some miracle she's there, even though I don't really have any use for rods. But that gets snapped up instantly, so okay, of course. Now I need to be thinking about what else I want. I wouldn't mind a Warmogs. I have the 1 belt, but that gets snapped up as well. So now I'm still trying to figure out what I can do with this. I would like the sword is my top item right now. Is that going to stick around? I don't really expect the Sona with the sword to stick around. I was like, all right. So that's gone too. I have the choice of yet another tier or a vest. I was like, all right, I guess I'll take the vest. I really don't want another vest. I have so many vests in this game, but it is what it is. All right, now here I hit the Blitzcrank 2-star, and this is going to be a good case of just like playing your board around the stuff that you're hitting. Normally, you do not play a Sentinel front line when you're playing a Heartsteel big shot team composition like this. But I want to continue playing the Blitzcrank for now because he's the only 2-star frontliner I've hit. So my plan is I'm going to run the Blitzcrank for now because that's the unit I've hit and he can anchor my tank items. And then I'm going to go to level 9, and on level 9 I will transition into the final endgame board. Cassante will come out, the Blitzcrank will come out, we'll replace with Alawi and I guess just Alawi. I guess so. It's like the Blitzcrank comes out, the Cassante comes out, Alawi goes in, and then we add Caitlyn, and then we add Lucian, and then that's the final board. We have 4. We end up with 4 big shot, 2 rapid fire, and we maintain and we get Jazz value in as well. By the way, some good spoils of war value getting printed here. Now, can we kill this other team? Looks like Ez is still alive, and wow, we got I think 3 coins from spoils of war just in 1 round. Not bad for a silver augment. Don't forget, we also still have late game specialist coming in here as well. So again, and by the way, that person is level 80 gold, so they are completely out of money. Whereas we are on our way to level 9, and once we get there, we're gonna get 33 gold. All right. So one other thing to have happen. Remember, we have the golden item remover. I have 2 Thief's Gloves here, so if I have the time to micromanage it, I can actually swap around who has which Thief Glove. Because Set wants tank items and Misfortune wants AD items, and she actually rolled some pretty good AD items here. When she rolled Red Buff and Giant Slayer, it's like, oh yeah, those are actually pretty good items. The items do not change once they've rolled at the start of a round, so you can actually pop them off and move them around, that kind of thing. Now, unfortunately, this person has 3-star Riven, so that's not what I'm looking for. I'm pretty sure the 3-star Riven just kills everything, but we'll kill as much of the board as we can, and then go from there. I actually did put Ezreal and MF on the left side of the board for the exact reason that I was trying to avoid that unit. Again, my carries are all 1-star, so I'm not surprised they don't have enough damage to beat this, but I do expect I'll be able to outscale that eventually. It looks like I did get enough Heartsteel stacks to get the next cash out as a result of that, so it's not all bad. We'll get something decent. And I still have a decent amount of health left. What do we get here? We are going to get a bow. Okay, well, that's something. Maybe we can combine this with something else, and again, Zach's going to go in on level up. We can level after the minion round here because we're going to get 33 gold back. So when we hit level 9, effectively I have whatever 48 plus 33 is. That's 81. So I effectively have 81 gold right now, and that's already enough to get to level 9. Plus, this is a Scuttle Puddle lobby, so we're about to get like another 15 gold here because you always get insane loot drops in the Scuttle Puddle lobbies. So yeah, give me all that loot. I can't even fit it all on my bench, but yes, loot, 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 loot. Okay. So let's go ahead and level to level 9, and then we're going to get all that gold back again. There we go. And then now we want to see what we can put in. We'll put in the Zac to get Bruiser trait in play with Set. What else can I pull here? I'm trying to figure out what I have. I was like, okay, let's see what we can do. We'll do IE. We're going to do the Last Whisper and the blue buff. Items I like on Ez. We'll put the Rage Blade on Jin. It's actually a really good item on Jin. And then now I was trying to figure out what I was going to do. And I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and do Guard Breaker, or whatever that item is now called. I can't remember what the exact title is. I have to get that off the Cassante. And then I have a leftover bow and a leftover vest. So I'm going to end up with Titan's Resolve as well. I was kind of hoping I could make a Warmogs off that last, Anvil pull there. All right, we're up against this Punk board, but again, we're level 9, they're level 6, so that, I mean, that does make a difference, even though that Jinx is pretty strong. And look at that. Look at all that Spoils of War gold. I'm going to get another, I think, 4 gold there. So yeah, that person's got a lot of health, but they're level 6. Their board is falling off pretty drastically now. All right, time to continue putting our board together. We still have all these 1-star units. We need to continue getting these units together. Now, what is this item called again? It used to be Guard Breaker. I can't remember what it's called now. All right, I'm going to continue moving these items around. Jin is going to take the Rage Blade and the Shojin, and then I'll put Striker's Flail is the new name. Okay, Striker's Flail. Interesting. I'll just put the Titans on our front liner. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. All right, and can we hit anything? It's like, oh, there's Lucian and there's Kate. Okay. I also am holding a Bard in case I can get another rank of Jazz in, but Bard is a pretty low priority. There's definitely other units I want more than the Bard here. Okay, so I'm going to have to make this substitution. I want to put in the Lucian and I want to put in the Kate, but the time to do that is when I can replace the Blitzcrank and the Cassante. So I'll have to look to do that relatively soon. By the way, this is the other board that's playing the same thing as me. This is the person who had the Mordekaiser 2-star and got the cash out, got like the unintended raise the stakes cash out earlier in the game. They are very similar to me. They're trying to build a similar board to me as well. So it's just going to be a question of who can build the board better. All right, so we'll take out the Zac because we can play a Lowy, who is a better unit. I'm also on 8 Misfortunes, so we're getting close there. I can't go for set 3-star. I don't have quite that much econ. And I don't need more bards. So I was like, all right, you know what? Let's just do this replacement now. I wasn't close to another Heartsteel cash out. We'll put in the Alawi. We're going to put in the Lucian. We're going to put in the Caitlyn. And then we need to shift these units around. And then boom, MF 3-star is huge. Unfortunately, the Ezreal I see is a headliner, which is no good here. I'm not moving out of 3-star Misfortune. But hitting that was big just because I need space to put the Jhin turrets down. Now I'm going to have a lot more room. And this is basically the board I was trying to head towards. 4 Big Shot, 2 Jazz, 2 Bruiser, 2 Guardian, 2 Mosher, 2 Rapid Fire. It's not the most insane Jazz value, but it's still pretty good. And yeah, Jin's going to be hitting really hard if I can hit that Jhin. And all right, hey, look at that. More gold. Is that my treasure chest? It is. It gave me a Kiana. Okay. Not the 5 cost I wanted, but, you know, I'll take it. And then I guess if I could get to level 10, I could put the Bard in for Jazz trait, or I guess I could play like a Ziggs would also give me another trait, and of course he's another 5 cost. But basically, that's getting ahead of myself. I just want to 2-star my board right now. That's really the only thing I care about. None of this stuff is that great for me. None of these emblems do anything, unfortunately. I don't have a Reforger. If I had a Reforger, I'd just grab an emblem and try to reforge it. But that's not going to do anything. And I was like, none of this stuff is helpful. I'll just take this, what's this item called again? It's the one that is it Evan Shroud? It's the one that reduces the armor of targets on the front line. Now, I already have a Last Whisper, but again, my comp's all physical damage. It's not terrible to have another armor shred. I'll put it on Thresh, who's the secondary tank. And, oh my god, 2-star Lucian. Okay, well, we will move some of these items over to the Lucian. I will look to move some of this stuff. I was thinking about moving a Thief's Club, but then I was like, no, I could just move Jhin, and then we hit 2-star Kate. That's great. All right, so we still have a lot of pairs. Boom, boom. Okay, now we have the 2-star, what is it? We have the, I was trying to move items. Yeah, I'm going to move the items from Jhin over to Lucian. I'd rather have them on Jhin if I had 2-star Jhin because I have 4 Big Shot in, but only 2 Rapid Fire. But as a 2-star Lucian, it's better to have them on him. And then I also need to move the Thief's Glove on Set over to the Yorick, but I think I didn't get quite time to do that in this game. Anyway, a long story short, my board is really starting to get there. I'm hitting my 2-star 5 cost. I just need to get Ezreal and Alawi now, and Ezreal, Alawi, Jhin, and then I'll be pretty set. I'm still printing additional gold via Spoils of War. I'm getting typically 2 to 3 gold every single round. I did drop the Heartsteel, but it was 100% worth it. Like, I don't want to play Aphelios right now. It's the end of the game. I don't need Aphelios. I want Lucian in. Lucian's just a better unit to play. So anyway, we will go ahead and shift these around. We're going to move that Thief's Glove over there. And then I think I shifted the Thief's Glove because I think Misfortune rolled tank items this round. I was like, oh wait, MF has tank items. Did I remember to do that this round? Yeah. I was like, okay. I mean, I have AP items on one of those Thief's Gloves, which are not exactly great on Misfortune, but it's still better to put that on her. And then, oh, nope, that's a Headliner Alawi. It's actually a Headliner Alawi, not a normal Alawi. So I was like, geez. I just want the normal Alawi. I'm not moving out of the 3-star Misfortune at this point. 3-star MF's pretty great. Even Gnasher's Tooth, Void Staff, Misfortune 3-star is still going to be pretty good here in this game. Anyway, this is the other Heartsteel board, the other Heartsteel plus Spoils of War, but as you can see, my board is a little bit stronger. Actually, I won that relatively easily, so I get them out of the lobby, and that's great news because they were the other player who I think had the strongest board. At this point, I'm not really too concerned about the other boards. All right, one of those persons has a Punk board that's level 7, another Punk board that's level 7, and then this person's level 10, but they got a Bard Headliner. It's like, Bard is your carry? They don't even have, like, I guess they have a 1-star Misfortune. I don't think Bard 1-star is going to carry that hard at this stage of the game. And meanwhile, I just have a disgusting number of items as a result of getting the Spoils value plus the Heartsteel value, plus this being a Crab Rave. And there's the Crab Rave itself. Can I kill the Crab Rave? It's very common for people to die to the Crab Rave. Can we actually kill this thing? And it looks like we can. It wasn't really that close. You know, the Steadfast Heart on Misfortune's Thief's Glove actually did give her extra value that round because it kept her from dying to the crab. Looks like one of the players managed to win, but nope, that person lost to the crab. Can little Frankie beat the crab? Nope. 2 out of the 3 other players lost to the crab. That's pretty funny. All right, well, we get to pull 2 item anvils. I was like, all right, I just want more AD stuff. So I was like, all right, I guess Last Whisper. I already have a Last Whisper, but I don't think it's bad to have another one. And I was like, okay, I'll take the Hodge. I probably should have taken the Guard Breaker. Or Striker's Flail is the name. All right, well, there's another Ezreal. Can we hit the rest of our 5 costs? All right, there's Alawi. Can I hit the Jhin? That's the only thing I still need is the Jhin now. And I guess I'll put this on the what's his name? The Jhin. Jhin should the Last Whisper that's on Jhin should probably be on Lucian because he just hits more of the board. I think that I think I could still shuffle those items around a little bit better. Also, Misfortune rolled tank items again this round, so not the most amazing, but there was nothing better for her Thief's Glove. Yeah, anyway, this is the board that was level 10 with the Bard. I mean, Bard just does not carry that hard at this stage of the game. So that's a one-sided match. And then there's the 2 Punk boards fighting each other in the other round. Looks like one of them's going to beat the other one, but not quite badly enough to get them out of the lobby. Still, this match does feel like it's pretty much over at this point. I'm just going to continue rolling here. I just want that last Jhin. Can Jhin cap out my board? One more Jhin? All right, there we go. So now we just look to go to level 10. I don't think we're going to get there, but we can try it. And it is probably time to move some of these items around. So let's see how I want to do this. I definitely want the Rage Blade and the Shojin on Jhin. Because Rage Blade's actually a really good item in terms of how it interacts with his passive. And then Shojin causes him to get the turrets down faster. And I was like, all right, Last Whisper on the Lucian. Then the Striker's Flail on Lucian because it interacts with his extra crit chance. And I'll put the Hodge on the Jhin, just because that way he won't just like get randomly pop by an Akali hitting the backline. He'll have a little bit of extra lifesteal. But yeah, I've hit my entire board now, and it is absolutely cranked. We are annihilating these other boards. The last 2 boards are both Punk boards. I mean, look, 10,000 damage for the Ezreal, 8,000 damage on the Lucian. Yeah, I mean, there was like another 5,000 damage, another 6,000 damage. I mean, I have a 2-star Kate who doesn't even have items on this board. I have a 2-star Kate, and she doesn't even have an item to place on here because I just have so many items on everybody else. And like, look at my front line. Every single one of my frontline units is like fully itemized with the Yorick plus Thresh plus Alawi plus Set combination. And oh yes, I'll swap the Thief's Gloves around one more time just so I can get that red buff on Misfortune. I don't see any conceivable way that I could lose this round, short of like selling half my board. And yeah, we'll just wrap this one up. I mean, they did hit 3-star. They did hit a lot of 3-star units. The problem is they're level 7, and they have no 4 or 5 cost units on their board, whereas I have a lot of 4 and 5 cost units on my board. Like, if these fights had lasted longer, Jhin would do even more damage. The rounds actually end before Jhin even has a chance to finish scaling up. But like, that's a wrap. That was about as much of a stomp as I've seen in a long time. So not a dramatic finish here. Like, it wasn't a close game, but I did want to highlight this one and put it on YouTube just because I think it was a really well played game. I felt like I was in control the entire game. Obviously, a lot of luck factors went my way, but like that was just a perfect way to play Heartsteel and convert the economic edge into a strong board at the end of the game. And of course, we even got to dominate the Crab Rave in the whole while that was going on. So I think that was fun too. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this video. Till next time, take care, folks. And I'll see you again soon.